It's not normal to spend so much time in the hospital. It's not normal to have nearly died like 4 times. I kind of gave up on trying to make my life something that other people thought was normal. I have something called cystic fibrosis, which is an illness that I was born with. It causes an overload of mucus to accumulate in your body. I end up doing around, 4 to 5 hours of breathing treatments every single day. I'm on 50 somewhat medications. I've spent a quarter of my life in hospital, had around 35 surgeries, had a very abnormal life, and yet I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I've kind of made it my life purpose to try and explain how it's possible to be sick and still live a life that you're proud of. When we're suffering, we all have this notion that we kind of just should stop living, and all we should focus on is how to get over it, how to just get to the other side. And I genuinely believe that there is no other side. There's so much more to life than just being healthy. There's so much more to life than just being normal. For me, it was a really simple shift. I had a whole near-death experience when I was 13. I was in a coma for a few weeks. It was crazy. Wild time, don't recommend it. After I'd been through that, I realized I actually had something to offer. I learned the ins and outs of how hospitals work, of how nurses, doctor-patient relationships work. What do parents really need to be able to help their kid? What does actual support look like in that community? So I started the Clairity Place Foundation when I was 13 years old because I wanted to help families with the financial burden of CF. When I was born, my life expectancy was 10 years old. Then it moved to kind of 15, 16, then it was 18, now it's 20s. And because the life expectancy keeps getting pushed back, I keep realizing I'm gonna live longer and longer and longer, which is terrifying. I was so ready to die in a weird way. And now all of a sudden there's like a life to live and I have college. Sometimes that's more terrifying than anything else, to be honest with you. I think I got a lot of my acceptance with my death and with sickness in general from my parents. They were very open-minded, very passionate, loving people. It's a really, really hard thing to know that your kid is probably not gonna outlive you. The thing that's terrifying, I think, for everybody about death is the fact that we might die without really having lived. That terror of dying before you fall in love or before someone loves you, which I'm definitely terrified of, or dying without doing something that you're proud of. That's what scares people. Growing up, you gotta think, I didn't have any role models that were sick, that were doing anything with their life, ever. I get to travel the world and speak and have my own apartment in Venice, and I get to date, and I get to laugh, and I get to go on adventures and run my own nonprofit and do exactly what I love doing. And none of that is in spite of being sick. It's because of it. It's because I kind of embraced the whole and I just went with it. People kind of simplify people who are sick. We act as if the only thing they think about is their health, or the only thing they think about is death. When the truth of the matter is that's kind of the last thing on my mind. Like, I'm sitting there panicking over whether the text I just sent a dude that I like sounds way too desperate, or if I send the devil face emoji, is that gonna be too much, too soon? I don't know. That's what I'm worried about. Treat people, especially sick people, the opposite of how you kind of instinctually want to treat them. Treat them like they are a supervillain and like they're planning on taking down the world, because that's probably what's going on. Just kidding. Do I speak for all sick kids or just myself? We may never know. If you look through history, people who have done the most in the world, they did not live peachy little lives. They were going through and they made something out of it. They did something. I think it's the only way I've managed to survive and still be okay, even with my illness, was because, I'm a go-getter.